You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building who has a top 10 record right now. The homie Kent Jones.
Hola.
He has the joint Don't Mind. I've been playing it for a long time.
The first time we heard it, actually, our board app is Haitian, so he thought you were Haitian also, and he was very hyped.
You know, I get that a lot. I get a lot of those questions. I get a lot of those questions. I tell him, I'm a part of the culture. I'm a Haitian at heart.
You're Haitian at heart.
Yeah.
Now, I've been playing the record for a long time, but you got a story. You were actually homeless. Did they find you on the street?
No, what happened was, it was a couple years after the homeless shelter when I moved back to Miami. And I was about 18, 19, and Cool discovered me through some mutual friends we had at the time. And we built a relationship. I think Dre was in LA for about like a year. And I think after that, Dre came down. Cool was already putting the bug in his ear. It was what it was, and we built, a real relationship over the course of like 4 years.
Now, you're talking Cool and Dre. That's DJ Khaled's partner on this project here.
Yes.
Now, how did you become homeless? Like, homeless? Like,
yeah,
no clothes, no house, homeless?
We're in a shelter.
So it was with your family? Like
I was in high school.
Right.
Yeah, I was in high school, and this is my senior year of high school. And a lot of people didn't even know about it, but me and my mom had fell ill. Mind you, my mom had a master's, and we were in a homeless shelter. She was fully educated. She had a master's. Everything. She fell ill, and she wasn't able to work. We lost the house.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. How long was she ill for? It had to be a long period of time.
About 6 months.
You had no family, nobody could help?
Or was it a pride thing where she didn't want to ask for help?
No. We had some people that offered, but that our family has such a spirit of discernment. Like, we know when we get those calls about what they'll do for us, and then it'll come back later. And it's just, we know our peoples.
Right.
Like, we understood our peoples. My mom, and the thing is, I didn't understand the reality of the situation until after we actually moved in there. And I had to go and play at these jazz bars and play at these poetry spots and play at these churches and use my gift to help get us out of there.
So from a young age, you always knew you would be a musician.
Absolutely. I was a musician. I feel like I was a musician since I was like 2 years old.
That must have been a hell of a shell shock. Could you imagine your mom having a master's? Obviously, you had some bread because you took piano lessons, and then all of a sudden it's just taken away and you're in a shelter. And
that's what I'm saying. You never know people's circumstances, because we worked in the homeless shelter, remember?
Right.
And we met some people there that were brilliant and, you know what I'm saying, had PhDs and everything. And sometimes circumstances have you end up someplace. And, that's why it's important that you don't look down on certain situations. Never. Because you have no idea what happened to that person to get them there.
Never.
And you never wanted to sell drugs or do anything illegal? It's like, you know what, I'm going to do this?
My music was I always had the gift to do it. Because I started off as a drummer, and I was doing that for money, and then I learned piano, and I started doing that for money, and then after I studied jazz, I started getting more money doing it. So I was just like, I don't have no reason to do any of that.
So you got out the shelter by doing jazz clubs, doing poetry clubs, doing churches, saving money.
Yeah.
And how did you get discovered? That's what you're telling us.
When I got out of college, I had some people I went to high school with, actually. Just like my old.
So you still went to college even though you came from a shelter?
I did. I
can't hear no excuses from nobody either. Nobody can say they can't do it. This man was in a homeless shelter and still went to college.
Went to college, and what's crazy is to give you more the college story into the discovery is that my first time here in New York was my senior year, and we were homeless, but I came here and did a jazz festival with Wynton Marsalis.
Wow.
And I got an award at Jazz at Lincoln Center.
Wow.
For jazz piano, nationals. And that propelled me to get the scholarship. I got a scholarship at Florida A&M, which is why I went to Tallahassee for school. However, a drum major got killed that year in a hazing incident. So the whole program shut down. So I wasn't able to.
So you lost your scholarship?
I lost everything.
Damn it, man. Kent Jones, you can't catch a break, huh?
Done. So I had to stay in my apartment and record every day.
But in the midst of all this happening, I mean, you still were, like you said, you got your award. You did end up, obviously meeting some great people that were able to.
But after that, I wanted to teach. I was geeked. I was like, I want to teach jazz, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
Got to college. The guy got killed. They shut the whole thing down.
That's crazy.
So I had to I was like, man, I'm going to just stay in my apartment. I'm with my roommate, who was my
How you ain't
engineer
get
at the
depressed?
time.
I'd have got depressed.
I had the music. I had a setup in my house. That's all I cared about.
And you knew you were kind of a chosen one.
Yeah, but even though a lot of my family, shout out to my family, they're very supportive. But at the time, it was hard because you imagine, I lost my passion for school after the program got shut down, and it's all types of stuff going on in that city because it's a college town. And on top of that, they felt like you should get a degree in something else. You should stay in school. This is what I was like, man. I want to do music. This is what I want to do.
Then when did you end up signing to Fat Joe? In the midst of all that.
I have to say that was in 2013. It's like 2013. I actually met him through Cool
and Dre.
Yeah, they introduced me to him. Then shout out Uncle Crack. He showed so much love. Congratulations on his big #1 record.
That's crazy.
All the way up. He took me in and as an artist, and some things happened that year, with his life, and he had to get some things.
Go to jail?
Yeah. He had to take care of his family. He had to do what he had to do, and I love him so much.
You a fighter, boy. Let's really think about it. You were homeless. Then you got a scholarship. You got out. You lost your scholarship.
The program was gone.
Then you got signed. Fat Joe got locked up. Damn it, man.
He's such a real one because he understood. I had to, do what I had to do. He had to do what he had to do.
Right.
And to this day, as you see, he loves me. I love him. He's the real.
Right.
And so Cool and Dre ended up managing me for about they still do. It hasn't changed, but for about the next 3 years, I was with Cool and Dre. And then the 4th year, I got introduced to Khaled. And he was also a bloodline brother, through them, through Uncle Crack, through, you know what I'm saying? And so it was organic from there with me and Khaled. Khaled was super excited. You know how he is.
Yeah, we know.
The big ball of fire energy just... So.
Was it like an immediate, I definitely want to sign you? Or was
no,
it was.
I was already signed when I met him. I was already signed when I met him. Like, it was already a thing. Dre must have given them the proper introduction. I woke up like one Saturday morning and they were on the yacht. And Khaled was like, Kent Jones. I'm like, and I figured out what had happened. I met him a couple days after that. And we here now.
So you were signed to him before you met him?
Figuratively, yes.
That means it's the family dealings.
Yeah.
Cool, Dre, Khaled, Fat Joe, we all family.
We all
spend this
family.
money around. Now I'm trying to figure out why you're here today. The reason I'm saying that is Khaled's on tour with Beyonce.
Yeah.
You came out a couple of cities. I would be on Khaled's back right now, opening, and I would be like, I'm opening up for Beyonce.
I know, but I gotta be here. I gotta be here. I gotta take care of my business.
We would understand if you left us for Beyonce.
You want to know something though? Even though I came out on those dates, her whole tour thus far has run parallel with mine, with my run. So like when I did Tampa, after Miami, I was on my way to Carolina. So I just hopped off the bus, got on stage, performed, rock with Khaled, boom, got back on the bus, Carolina. So I gotta do the same thing. Like when I leave here, I think for the next, today's Wednesday, tomorrow night when I leave, I have to go back to Miami Friday morning. And as soon as I get back, my driver will be at my house and we're going straight to Carolina. Like no time to stop, no. So I had to be here with y'all.
So if I need tickets, I can holler at Ken Jones. I ain't got to holler at Khaled.
Yeah. You want to come carry the keyboard?
You can't carry the keyboard. Did you meet Beyonce?
I haven't. I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to.
What about Hove?
I ran into him once.
Okay.
He was with Khaled.
How was that conversation? Or you just kept it humble and say, you know what, I'm not there yet.
It wasn't even that I wasn't there yet. I just feel like the nature of human nature is if two people are having a conversation and they acknowledge you, I'm not gonna go join that conversation.
Right.
They having a conversation, but he definitely showed me love, showed me respect. Shout out to everybody that did the Atlanta dates. That was awesome. That was crazy.
What has the feedback been since you've been performing and opening up and doing some of the shows with Khaled and Beyonce?
I can say this. Every date I was at, they knew the whole song. Backwards and forward. The people behind me, people in front of me. By the way, I love the arenas way more than the clubs. I decided.
You're talking 60,000 compared to 2.
And then you got to think about it too, Envy. You got to think about it. The club is full of the guys that stand up on the wall.
Right.
They trying to pose for the shorties.
Right.
Girls, they trying to put on for the... the fans are at the arena for the entertainment.
Right.
That's what they're there for. It's no distractions. It's no nothing. It's like a focused crowd.
Right.
So that's why I like.
So what's the plan for Ken Jones now? You have a huge, debut single that we've all been hearing.
But I've been playing it first for about 5-6 months
time.
now.
Big shout out to
throw that out there.
to my
I've seen
big
this
brother,
one coming a
DJ
long
Envy.
time.
Nah. Shout out to,
And the song almost didn't make the album.
yeah.
Well, they said this was the weakest song that he has. They said he has
Really?
way better songs.
This is their weakest song?
Let's just put it like this. We didn't know this song was going to be the single.
See, that's good.
Yeah, we didn't know. So we have a lot more music. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty.
Yeah.
So this just caught on, or did you decide to put it out because you felt like
We put out the
like
mixtape, just so people could get to hear, just so we could feed the streets, because that's very important. Even whether you're whatever kind of artist you are, it's important. When I say the streets, I'm not talking necessarily the hood, the community, hit the people, the
Music
surrounding
lovers.
people, like hit the streets. So I hit them with 11 songs, and Don't Mind was track 5. And the sound from that record was actually spread across the whole tape, but that was the joint that grabbed everybody's attention. And now that I think about it, I can understand.
It's for the ladies.
Yeah.
Now you said you played in the church. Does the church have a huge, I should say, I guess, is the church influencing your music?
Still, yes. But you got to understand now, it's because when I was real
You
gospel.
taking dudes' chicks in the songs. I don't know if that's very godly.
I know a lot. Listen, I'm just gonna say I know a lot of intimate details about Ken Jones because I met him on lip service.
Hey.
Oh, what? What did you
And
know?
he is a savage. I just want to say.
Hey.
So
What do you mean savage?
I'm a
I know he's
savage.
a savage.
I'm a savage.
He was homeless. He deserves to be a savage. He
I like
lost
that.
his scholarship.
I like that envy.
He deserved. He lost his deal when Fat Joe went to jail. Yes, he deserves to be a savage.
Okay.
So what do you mean, savage? Tell us.
Nah, no, I don't know if we're going on a different path here. I don't know.
Yeah,
if he
we're
was
on a different path right now,
He was a little, Hennessy up.
Nah, it's her fault. She shoved the Hennessy down my throat. Envy.
But he has a foot fetish. Let's just say that.
Oh.
I'm proud of that.
You lick toes, bite toes, suck toes.
He gets foot jobs.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
That's a very interesting topic to discuss on the Breakfast Club.
No, I'm glad you brought that up.
We're
So
promoting the
So you have to date a girl with feet that are smooth, because if they're rugged and rough,
Smooth.
it'd just be your
You don't want
penis
those-
would be all messed up.
smooth.
You don't want those calluses on your nuts.
Yeah,
So how was the first time? Did you ask a girl the first time, like, hey, you got pretty feet, why don't you use them on me? Well, like, how was that
Or
first
you know what?
experience?
What if
First
she doesn't have a
experience.
good face, but her feet are beautiful?
Yo, so about that single, man,
Or what if her feet are jacked up, but she's
No,
perfect in every other way?
No, I don't want her. She got a perfect butt, the perfect.
Everything?
No, I can't.
I want to know that
This is
first
Ken Jones.
conversation. Like,
I
you know that
can't.
first conversation
He
when you
said
have
I can't.
anal and you be like, hey, turn around, and you stick
Turn
your
around.
thumb in first. So how do you have that conversation first?
should put it right here.
I don't even think it's a conversation, Envy. It's just
you gotta have skills, man.
Exactly. It's a mood of the moment. If obviously women get stimulated, a lot of women get stimulated from their feet,
So you play with her feet.
right?
Okay.
And
And then you put
It
oil
happens
on
to
them.
fall.
You put oil on her feet.
it happens to fall
Okay.
on the pants, and then
And see, all right, Angelique, can you pick up a piece of paper with your toes or use your feet?
I don't know if I had to, probably.
You never tried. So could you imagine you giving somebody a foot
Are
job?
you calling his penis a piece of paper?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, piece of
Come
paper
on,
is
Ann.
easy. But that would be
Crazy,
a great
man.
conversation. I mean, it is Freaky Friday, so that would
okay,
be a
yeah,
great
yeah.
conversation.
Right. There was a lot of other things, but I'll
Yeah,
let you
yeah,
say
yeah,
that
but,
for another day. Let's talk about you back in the church now.
You want,
This is
yeah.
getting-
Oh, now you want to go back to church,
This
huh?
is getting awkward. So this is your first single. So you have an album date, or is it just
we
you
don't
gonna
have
keep
a-
releasing singles?
We don't have a date yet, but we got records. We want to keep feeding them, and we are in the process of building this project, which I must say is something to really have your ears honed in on. When
How
it's
much input
completed.
does Khaled have on it? Like, does he listen to all the songs? And
Yeah,
say,
he
"This
listens.
is the
I
one"?
send him records. I just send him records and see which one he likes. If he likes all of them, or if he only likes like 2 of them, he usually likes all the records I send him. But he gives me his feedback. As far as creative control, they usually leave that up to me.
Okay.
And then
They trust
in the
you.
final stages, like when it's time to put the project out, then the song order, and that's what happened when I was telling you. I'm not saying it was Khaled. this time. But that's what happened with my tour's mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
I had like 12, 13 songs. 2 of the songs didn't make it. Don't Mind was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to call
Right.
Cool,
I
had to call Cool, make sure the mix was right. I had to call, make sure I could get it on there. I hit Dre, it was like, all right, it's finished. Can I? Because it wasn't even on the art. It wasn't even on the cover art.
Dang.
It wasn't on the track listing.
Well, good thing you made it.
No, real.
What about your mom now, seeing your success?
She's very
so
proud.
far?
I could say now, I could see in her eyes. She always says, I've always been proud of you. Da, da, da. But right now, I've never seen her, this proud. And I'm just happy that I could be there for her now.
Yeah, the song is everywhere. I'm sure she's excited.
Well, we know that you brought your keyboard in here.
Well, I just want to say one thing. I will tell you some disrespect.
Disrespect about Kent Jones?
He came to the club to perform, and I didn't know who he was, right?
And he probably tried to make you get off the stage.
No. So so Khaled and J1's called me. They was like, yeah, he came. I said, yeah, he came. It was like, how'd he do? I said, yeah, he did cool. It's like, what do you think? I said, y'all gotta clean him up, man, because he came out like he rolled out of bed, right? That's what I tell him. I said, you came like you rolled out of bed.
He did.
They told you that?
Yeah.
Damn it, man. They wasn't supposed to tell you that. Right,
well,
so they was like, really? I was like, yeah. I was like, he has a big record. You gotta make him a star. They was like, all right, next time I seen him, whole different Kent Jones.
You wanna know something though? And this is why I appreciate my OGs, Cool and Dre and Khaled, because I had to do that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't about them doing it. I had to do it. And as time progressed, I was able to give thanks. Now I'm looking at other goals, other things I want to do. Mm-hmm. But as far as what they did, I appreciate them and I wouldn't change anything about this process, Envy, because it's, it wasn't anybody jumping in front of me. It wasn't any extreme hype. Mm-hmm. It wasn't no features. It wasn't no superstar producers producing my song. And it was just organic, and it was strictly off of, because it's crazy. Like that night, when I saw you at, what was it? It was Euro.
Yep.
Yeah, like, I was looking like I rolled out of bed. But
everybody straight up and down.
But everybody was singing the words to the song.
They were singing
and that's the beautiful part.
Like, this is not him singing.
This is not him saying it. Look at this guy right here.
I thought I was gonna see flies. I said, y'all call me. I said, you gotta fix him up, man.
Right.
Next time I seen him fixed up, I said, okay, there's the star in him right there.
Yeah, it's all good. I embrace that. I embrace that part of my journey.
They wasn't supposed to tell you. Thanks, Khaled and J1.
I embrace
was
that.
trying to put them on.
You didn't think that they should have told him that?
Now, I said he wasn't. He looked like he just woke
no,
out
but
of
you
bed.
understand. You're always one of the people I looked up to.
That's what it is.
So that's cool. That's cool. You could have told me that personally.
I didn't know you. I didn't know you at that. Now
you know me.
Yeah,
now I can tell you.
Well, I think we had that issue.
Right.
We had that.
The first time I didn't know him. But anyway, let's. You got the keyboard here.
So you think he's cute now?
Why would you ask him if you think? Do you think I'm cute? Do you think I'm cute?
Asking Envy because he's the one that has some criticism.
Hey.
Yo, shut up.
So Envy.
Yes,
I gotta say, in the absence of Charlamagne, I know he'd appreciate this. I brought my keyboard. Okay. Because I'm an artist, and there's a lot of artists, but I want to show the separation of me from a lot of guys that claim musicianship and don't play no instrument.
We like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna come up here and tell you I'm a musician and I don't play no instrument. This is not who I am. It's not who I am. That's not educating the kids properly. This is the right way.
What do you want to do with this keyboard?
Okay. So
you got talking to Mike though.
So at the end, I'm gonna give y'all my own version of my favorite jazz record, which is Giant Steps by John Coltrane. But I figure we can make it pretty interesting.
All right, hold on. Let me plug you in. Hold on.
I need.
What do you need?
3 of your favorite funk records.
Funk.
Or it could be soul.
Soul.
It could be from the Earth, Wind, and Fire era. It could be from the Funkadelics. It could be from whatever you feel.
You
know what? I'm gonna put it on you. I'm gonna put it on you.
Let's do Earth, Wind, and Fire, Devotion.
I know that song.
Okay.
If we got to do something, I'll let you pick. You ain't even got to tell me the songs. Don't tell me anything.
Funk song? All right.
Whatever. It doesn't have to be that. I was just saying.
All right. Can we do R.I.P.? Can we do some Prince?
Okay. Let's hear it.
Let's do I don't want to do Kiss.
Do you have it? You got the record?
Oh, you want me to play the record while you do it?
No. I want you to play the record, and I'm gonna play it. I've never heard any of these records before. Like that song, whatever song you.
All right, I played on my laptop.
Do Erotic City.
That's what's interesting.
Erotic City.
All right.
I want to do the songs I know because it's like
Oh, you don't want to do songs you know.
Oh no, this is